Morning, guys. Well, it was a busy morning. I kind of forgot to record a quick intro here. This morning was kind of just a scattered morning. I did a lot of figuring on things. So with an old house, there's a lot of things you got to think about, and I have worked on remodels a little bit before, but it has been a while. All right, Wyatt's here holding Daniel, his cat, and got something he's thankful for today. What is it, Wyatt?
Daniel.
Thankful for Daniel. Okay. Yeah, what a cool cat. Here, hold him still for a minute. Yeah, so do you know how old Daniel is or not?
About 3 or 4 months.
About 3 or 4 months. Okay. Yeah, I can't remember for sure, but we've had him for a little while now, and he's just a super mild-natured, gentle cat. Great for the kids, and they just love on him a lot. So, very cool, Wyatt. One thing that I've been thinking about, and I checked it out before, this whole floor slopes uphill to here, and also so does the roof. Slopes uphill. It's probably hard to tell in the video because of the weird camera angles and stuff. But, so what I did is I set up a laser, and I'd done this before, but I was just referencing all my shots and making sure they were good. But this whole thing is off about 2 inches on this roof height from the top plate over in that far corner up there. That corner is the highest one, and this is the lowest one. So I don't know that I can get all that out. That is quite a bit, but I'm going to try to, once we take the roof off and stuff, I'm going to try to see if I can at least kind of split the difference or at least help it as much as I can. Man, there's just a lot with an old house you got to think about. And the lists keep piling up, you know? So anyway, so that was kind of one of the things this morning, was just to make a list, compile things, and try to prioritize, okay, what order this has to happen. Different things, like there's just so much. And also being in a new area, I still got to figure out like where all the suppliers are for different stuff, like how far I got to go. Where I used to live, my local building center, I knew what they had, I knew the quality of it, I knew it was a good price. Typically, you know, we had a few places to check around, but a lot of it was good lumber. Here I got to figure out like all this stuff and kind of the look we're going for. We've never dealt with a brick house before, so now we're like, what goes good with brick, you know? And so anyway, there's just a lot of things like that. I had showed you a little bit last night, I think, but we got a few out yesterday, but now we're starting again and tearing these out. You can kind of see there where the old vapor barrier is down in there, the old plastic. They just kind of put some down to walk across, I think. And then there's also like a hole in the crawl space we got to fix underneath there. So not a whole lot of progress as far as actual physical progress on the house. But we are getting some boards here torn out and gonna try to get the rest of this torn out. Well guys, this is actually the next morning, but it got kind of late on me last night, so I didn't finish. So I just wanted to show you quick where we ended up last night. We got all these boards pulled out of here. So for now what I did is I just left the last joist right here because I didn't want to cut under that wall there. So we'll see how we end up, if we end up sistering another one in there. So for now, just going to get it roughly cut out of here. And so we got all these boards pulled, got the nails pulled. Overall, everything looks in pretty good shape. You might be wondering why I pulled these up instead of just leaving them. For one thing, I wanted to get to this crawl space and be able to access it from the top for plumbing and for all the stuff. But also, I knew these weren't really fastened that great, so I didn't want it to creak down the road. So if we're going to go to all this extent, I might as well put new subfloor down. Make sure it's glued properly and stuff and doesn't squeak over time. And for two, I just wanted to be able to inspect really well because to see how they did things. Now the one thing that I found that's kind of crazy, a little bit, this is the opening down in the crawl space here, if I can show it. That goes into the deeper part of the crawl space. But on these two joists right here, the wall, the concrete wall ends right there. And then over here, it ends right here. So these two joists are literally just sitting on a flat 2x4. So I'm going to have to header across there. I might have to cut them shorter and put a beam from that one to that one, and then tie these into that little beam or something. Something to span across there. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a good night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys.